Hello, everyone. I had a little bit of time this afternoon and I thought I would just have a conversation. When I started making videos, I would usually make them after I had finished animal chores and things like that in the morning. And now it seems like the only time I get a chance to make a video is for a meditation. And I really like both aspects. And kind of having that dialogue with the universe. And so I realized that I hadn't been able to do that in quite a while. I might have a little bit of a conversation before starting a meditation or after, but not just let's have a conversation. So I feel like I'm in a really beautiful place right now. And I had gotten several Facebook reminders about finding out about this illness. And in case you haven't watched any of those videos, I was diagnosed with something called alpha-gal syndrome, which is from a tick bite. I got bit at the beginning of my pregnancy and didn't realize kind of what was going on and the effects. It basically makes me allergic to all mammal products. So it's been a little bit tough and different, especially as somebody that is trying to homestead and have animals and things like that. And it was very hard to be pregnant and dealing with all of that. But I firmly believe that was absolutely the best thing that could have ever happened to me. And I have said that in several videos. And I genuinely mean that from the depths of my soul. The amount of growth that I've had as an individual over this last year has been so immense. Sometimes it seems so much longer than just a year has gone by. And, maybe 10, but a year. And there's always more to do and grow and unravel, but it's a really beautiful place to be in where I really feel like I'm settling in. I have shed so many things that were not me and had been put upon me, whether well-intentioned or not, by parents and society and teachers and, all these things. And I feel like this last year was it was very isolating and alone. But it feels very much like a butterfly is really the only thing that seems close to what it would be. If you think of a caterpillar, they're growing and growing and growing, and I really see my life up until COVID, and then even after that, as there was a lot of growth and expansion, and that was there. And then this illness literally cocooned me, where I'm had rapid growth and change in such a short time span. And now I feel like I'm starting to break out of that chrysalis and really start to flap my wings and see that I can do this. And it just feels so beautiful and genuine. I feel like I'm me all the time, and there's no mask or anything like that to put on. I need to act this way or that. No, I'm gonna be myself, and if I'm not meant to be here, my intuition will tell me that. there are things even just today that are just, there's synchronizations and signs and things like that, that I'm like, I feel close to my childhood self. I feel close to my teenage self, and I am just like, oh, this is this person that's been inside all along. And it's beautiful because I can see that in being myself, my children are also coming into themselves. My husband is as well. And it's such a, it's just this beautiful feeling. And so that's really where my focus for this last year, it's just been getting down to, does this matter? Does this matter? Does this matter? I've even told my kids, like, I said, I love having discussions with people, but I don't go into a conversation anymore trying to convince someone to believe what I believe. I don't care if they believe what I believe. I just want to hear and talk to people and go, okay. And it's interesting because most people can't have a conversation like that. There's a few, but most people, they're trying to convince you of, and I'm firmly rooted in what I believe at this point, and what I don't, I'm not willing to compromise or anything. I've had some very very religious people come at me on my YouTube, and I used to really was so much of a people pleaser that I'd, try to have this discussion with somebody, and they're not wanting a discussion. They want to convert me. And I don't think that will be happening. I've had many lenses and perspectives in this life already to this point, and I'm not willing to waste any more time believing something that's not led by my divine self, and that resonates with me. Would that mean I wouldn't have a discussion? Of course I would have a discussion, but in the same breath, if somebody else on the other side isn't trying to have a discussion, if they're trying to win me over, convert me, that's not a discussion then. That's a debate. I don't have time for that. And so it's been interesting because I used to waste so much time trying to convince anybody that, you need to think like this, you need to believe this. And now I don't care. I care only in as I hope the information gets to the people that it needs to. But I know at the same time now, and this is why I don't care, that people that need this conversation will get this conversation. And the people that don't. And the only person I'm responsible for is me. And that's a really beautiful thing. And I do hope that everyone, has that growth, because it's a beautiful thing. But not everybody in this life has come here to grow in that way. There's many that have no intention of growing. And yet, at the same beautiful time, there's so many people that are growing. And it's beautiful to see that. It's wonderful. I see it even in my own children, just the change in the last few years. And I'm excited for my younger children being able to have not only one parent, but both parents who are starting to really envelop and be themselves and kind of say, why do we believe this? Why do we believe that? And shed the things that don't resonate. And it can be interesting, and there can be some really interesting discussions. The other day, we were driving to the chiropractor, and everybody was talking about their spirit animals and their totems and things like that. And it was interesting to see kind of how things have changed, like what animals I've been attracted to in my lifetime, and find out their meanings. My oldest daughter was very into it, and she's readily digging it up while I'm driving. And it was really neat, and to see everybody's ages and how some animals could be an overarching for their lifetime, and how some are beautiful and part of the childhood innocence. And it was just really, I love the discussions and the moments that I'm having with my kids, and there's been glints of that all along, but now it's so much, it's this bigger, more beautiful thing. So as always, I always open the comments. I, I want to hear about your growth. I think there's a real lacking for many of us in community. And I see some beautiful communities, even in my state, where people are trying to live more communally. And then I see more individuals like my husband and I and our family on our land trying to do our thing, and yet missing that sense of community. And so we find it in other various ways, but it's not quite the same as in person. And so if you're somebody that's in need of that sense of community, I'd like to hear about your growth. I think a lot of people, there's a definite energetic swing in this last month, and it's really amazing, and it's just it's just pulsing, and it's very climactic. There we go. And I'm just like, it's just getting, every day I wake up and I'm just like, it's better and better and better and better. And it's amazing. And I know there's other people that, because I see it on Facebook, I see it on Twitter, I even see it in a video game that I play. And you can see, like, there's this shifting and thinking and whatnot. And people are really starting to fall back into older ways of being in harmony with nature, listening to their inner guidance, their God spark within them. And I'm sure that most organized religion and things like that will be around for a while, and yet it feels like a release of a grasp has happened. And and that's not even the whole shift, it's just this feeling of really, like, Mother Nature's taking this breath for the first time in a very long time. And that shift and the energy with that shift. So if it resonates and you would like to talk about your own shift or shifting over this last year, I'd love to see comments. It can really be this beautiful thing, and that's not to say that there haven't been moments that have been hard. It's really hard to break down these multi-generational patterns that have just been passed and put upon each generation after the next, and it's been very difficult, and it's very easy to fall back into those patterns and then go, oh, I don't want to do this. This is not me. This has been put upon me. It's very there are moments that are difficult and challenging, but it's actually interesting now when one of those moments comes up. Like today, I literally, every person I drove behind to take my kids to the dentist, every single person was driving slow. And the first person, I'm like, okay, delaying us so we don't get into an accident or whatever, okay. Second person, oh, okay. And third person, okay, universe, I give up. Just make sure I get there on time, because I hate to not be on time. But even if I'm not on time, it will be okay. I know it will be okay. Wow, that's like a huge shift in radical thinking. I am somebody that used to never want to ever be late. I will show up 10 or 15 minutes early, and the world be damned if I don't show up early. And I might have driven my kids to a frazzle and myself to a frazzle and everything, and it just wasn't that way. Oh, and my gas tank went from being on a quarter tank yesterday to being on E in my driveway. I don't know how that happened. But here's the interesting thing. Saved me 50 cents a gallon from getting gas in town here versus driving way to the big city to get gas. So was that just the universe looking out for me? I'd say so. Some people are going to say it's a coincidence. Those are the non-magical people. So anyway, I know that there can be those hard moments in the expansion and growth, but the key seems to be coming back, resetting, refocus. And you get to do that as many times as you want. I get to do that as many times as I want. And that's amazing and beautiful. And so if you're having growth like that, I want to hear about it. Like, let's start building this community. So I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I hope that I will have another meditation soon, or maybe just a discussion. Have a great day.